This is Generation Stadia, giving you that daily dose of everything and anything Stadia related, and today we have to talk about the latest news surrounding Geforce Now. So I brought this up at the beginning of yesterday's video, but I really wanted to talk about it because I think it has some pretty major repercussions. If you're wondering what I'm going on about, it's the most recent news that Activision Blizzard has decided to pull their support for their games off of Geforce Now. Now I have some theories as to why this may be, but for now let me quickly read Nvidia's statement about it. As we take Geforce Now to the next step in its evolution, we've worked with publishers to onboard a robust catalog of your PC games. This means continually adding new games and on occasion having to remove games, similar to other digital service providers. Per their request, please be advised Activision Blizzard games will be removed from the service. While unfortunate, we hope to work together with Activision Blizzard to re-enable these games and more in the future. In addition to the hundreds of games currently supported, we have over 1,500 games that developers have asked to be onboarded to the service. Look for weekly updates as to new games we are adding. That statement gives you some good news and some bad news, but one thing it makes very clear is that Activision Blizzard was the one to decide to pull their games out of the supported list for Geforce Now. The only question that really remains is why did they do that? Well, there's been plenty of theories going around, from Google paying them out to Xbox paying them out. And then you have some hilarious reports coming from sites like The Verge trying to spin this into cloud gaming is in trouble. Either way, let's discuss some of those theories and you let me know what you think it is in the comments section below. Now the first thing we need to go over is a very important update that Battle.net did to their EULA, their end user license agreement. Sometime in 2019, it was updated to state the following. You agree that you will not, in whole or in part or under any circumstances, do the following. Cloud computing. Use the platform including a game in connection with any unauthorized third-party cloud computing services, cloud gaming services, or any software or service designed to enable the unauthorized streaming or transmission of game content from a third-party server to any device. Now, back when this was added in, a lot of shadow users who were using the service to play World of Warcraft started to get worried, and for good reason. After all, Activision Blizzard support themselves stated that it was against their terms and you could get banned for doing so. Interestingly enough, it was never removed off Geforce Now during the entire beta phase though, and the fact that it launched with it makes me think they had some sort of agreement there. And that's where the theories begin. First off, there's the theory going around that Google Stadia may have paid for some sort of exclusive deal with Activision Blizzard. Now, this isn't completely unfounded. In fact, they did recently make a very big deal together. Toward the end of last month, they both signed a deal to exclusively stream their esports league on YouTube, as well as use Google Cloud as their preferred cloud service for game hosting. Now, this doesn't have a direct correlation with Google Stadia other than it being the same parent company, but I do kind of see where these theories can start. Who this does affect for sure though is Amazon and Amazon Web Services, as they're the partner that Activision Blizzard used to have when it came to game hosting. Not to mention, since Amazon also owns Twitch, those esport leagues are gonna be missing on that platform. If this deal somehow also included streaming rights for their games to Google Stadia, this would be an absolutely insane deal. Now the second theory going around is that XCloud has paid for exclusivity streaming rights to their games, but this one seems a little more unfounded. I really couldn't find any sort of correlation as to why this came up, but I would assume it's because they have some sort of deal going on with EA currently. After all, EA Games is making their own streaming service under the name Project Atlas, but they decided to put their games on the preview program for XCloud. I should clarify that it's only some of their games, not their entire catalog. It is also worth pointing out that EA doesn't currently have any other games supported other than Apex Legends on Geforce Now and none on Google Stadia. Now the third theory is the one that I believe is true, and it's probably the most simple one. I don't think Activision Blizzard wants to have their games on this service if they're not getting paid to do so. Now I can't say for certain that Nvidia is not paying these developers to put their games on the service. With that said, at the monthly rate that they're charging, I don't see how they're doing it if so. Not only that, but they've been very adamant about letting developers know that they get to keep all the money made from sales on their respective storefronts. I think the bigger publishers like EA, Activision Blizzard, Capcom, and more know that they could probably get paid because it's so important for cloud streaming services to support their games. At the end of the day, I truly believe content is king, and if your content isn't up to par, then no one's gonna be willing to pay. I've already seen plenty of people state that they're gonna cancel their founder tier because their favorite game is no longer supported. Missing out on games like Call of Duty, Overwatch, and World of Warcraft really is a big deal. Even more so when you consider the fact that those games were supported for years without interruption, but now that the service has fully launched, only a week in, they have now been removed. This looks really bad on Nvidia, and I'm pretty sure they're aware. I just hope that they can come to some sort of resolution if it's still possible to do so. I personally don't want to see a future where these big publishers are signing exclusivity streaming rights to certain services over others. Exclusives are one thing, timed exclusives I like less, but I can at least understand from a business perspective. But if big publishers are going to be the reason some of us have to subscribe to multiple streaming services, that's going to be a huge pain. It would also be a major inconvenience for most users. A good example of this is Geforce Now on my end. It happens to play and look better than Stadia does because I'm much closer to a server. But let's say Activision Blizzard only wants to stream on Stadia, I'm gonna have to actually deal with a worse experience simply because they signed a deal with Google. And this can go vice versa, completely depending on the user and where they live. Within this community alone, I see plenty of users state that whatever service they're using just doesn't work well enough despite being in a supported country, and it's all because of their location and the distance between them and the server. Anyways, do let me know what you think about all this going on, and let me know what theory you agree with most, or if you have a completely different theory, be sure to leave it down in the comments section below. Now, if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful at all, be sure to hit that like button as it really does help the channel out, and if you're wanting more content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell as well. Today's end of video message is going to be a quick and simple question. Did you use Geforce Now to play any of these Activision Blizzard games that were removed? If so, how do you personally feel about their removal? Are you upset, angry, or are you understanding of their situation? More importantly, how does this factor your opinion on Geforce Now and whether or not you want to continue using the service? Speaking for myself, I know I plan to continue to use the service and enjoy the other games that are available, but I will admit that it is quite a blow. I was actually planning to play Overwatch through the service and check out all the new updates that I've been missing out on, but it seems like I can no longer do that. Anyways, I look forward to your replies. As always, thank you for watching. This has been Generation Stadia, giving you that daily dose of everything and anything Stadia related. The Gen S community is over 3,400 strong and growing by the day, and until next time, I'll catch you in the clouds.